Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Armopoulos, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Talia.
And I'm Tech Luciano. You may have heard me on radio, you may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Cause y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Hustle Podcast. Episode 19, I think.
19, bro.
19.
Nine motherfucking team.
And we got another special guest in the building, Tokyo Kid.
Tokyo Sensei and shit.
Tokyo Sensei.
Changed up on him.
Changed
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Look, I remember a bit about you from back in the day. Don't really remember the music because I wasn't really following everything back then. But I remember the name. The name was unique.
Nice.
So it's an honor to sit down with you and get to chop it up a bit. I know Tech knows you a little more than I do and everything like that. So I think he's going to take the lead on this right now.
Yeah, bro. So for those of you who don't know, Tokyo Sensei, also, previously known as Tokyo Kid, previously known as Unique, as you mentioned.
Right.
He's been doing his thing on the rapping tips for a long time. Former radio host as well, all the way live host. You may have heard him on 90.3 at some point. And, just all around good guy, bro. From the ends, we outside. South side is in the building. I like it when,
sir.
when my part of the city is on the show. So I feel a little extra better. What's up, Tokes?
Everything's good. It's a blessing to be here. I'm thankful that you guys have me here, to be honest. I didn't expect the link to be made so fast. Tech, obviously, I know you for many years, but I was just in the studio and Native Beats hit me up and said, hey, Tech is ready. I said, what does that mean? Already. So I haven't been checking for everybody like that because I've just been so focused on what it is that I think I'm doing here. And I'm glad to see that you guys are coming with this Hustle podcast and featuring people who have been doing it for some time now. It's a good look.
Thank you. And I just wanted to point out that we have Talia looking a little differently today.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of facial hair.
Pregnancy has affected you adversely, Talia.
Very, very, very badly.
Yeah, I'm 6 months pregnant right now.
6 months pregnant. My God.
I'm still looking for the baby daddy. I don't know who it is. If you're out there, please.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a segment where we'll just we'll field a bunch of dudes to see who the father is. Could do lie detector tests, whatever you need, Tals. We got you over here on the Hustle.
It's gonna be a lot of men, that's for sure. It's gonna be a lot of men. Man. It's gonna be an abnormal amount of men.
Oh my God. Back to Tokyo.
I'm joking.
So this is what happens when you don't show up for work.
You get replaced by Lambro. All right, Tokyo. So back to the conversation we're having over here. What I want to know is, how did you get the name Tokyo? How did you come up with the name Tokyo Kid back in the day and all that? I was gonna come up with like this bullshit story that you raised on the streets of Tokyo, came back to Montreal.
I could have been. But no, like Tech said, I went through several transitions where the name was changing. And when I was Unique, I was on Facebook heavy and we were just promoting on there. And one day I just randomly decided, I'm changing the name to Tokyo, but just on Facebook. And another artist out there in Toronto, Frank White, he hit me up. He's like, that's an official name? Like, you changed the name from Unique? And I'm like, no, I didn't change the name. He's like, you should run with that Tokyo name, And I decided to run with it, but I've always just been a fan of the culture and everything that they got going on out there. So it's just like, it kind of adapted naturally. And then everyone just started saying, Tokyo, Tokes. I'm like, oh, all right. It's ringing.
It's
all
definitely
right.
trendy, though. I liked it too. I heard it.
No.
Yeah, so it's stuck.
Yeah, it's stuck.
Has like a sort of like a Wu-Tang vibe to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Shaolin.
That's
now
racist.
That's racist.
It's culture.
It's the culture, man. It's the culture. So, okay, that's how
Wu-Tang's definitely Chinese, but go ahead. It's all good.
Asian. I'm just saying the Asian culture. I'm not saying country-wise.
We're canceled, guys.
No, we're sticking around.
All right,
John Cena
so that's where the name came from, basically. That's how you decided to roll with it.
Yeah.
When did you decide to start making music, and when did you feel like you had the love for it, and what influenced you as a young person?
I started making music when I was 14 or 15. Like, my first ever studio experience was when I was 15. one of the homies named Refix, he brought me there. He actually goes by the name Fixavelli now. He brought me to the studio uptown to one of the homies, Mitch. So I've been making music ever since I'm 15. But as far as being inspired, I've been like all of us, right? We've been listening to music since we're babies, right?
For sure.
But I grew up in a house where it was just it was diverse. I didn't have both my parents there all the time. So when I was back and forth, I'm just listening to all the music, and because we have just such a big family too, and married in-laws, everything like that. There's like African and Asian and everything in our family, so we listen to everything. There'd be days where listening to gospel music. My mother's playing gospel music on Sunday or whatever, but then there'd be another day she's like cleaning the house, and then we were listening to Hispanic music, like salsa music and stuff. So my older brothers, they had given me hip hop and stuff to listen to, and me watching TV, I'd say, I'm listening to all this pop music. Imagine you're in elementary school, so I'm going to elementary school, and it's not necessarily hip hop is the thing. It's like dance music and pop music, and
Those are the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Spice Girls.
and,
that was what was
and
popping in our era, for real.
and punk music, you know what I mean? Alternative music, and so that's the influence. Like, I grew up just everyone around me and my family just playing different music.
Today is gonna be the day that we're gonna
you know?
bring it back to you. That was
Yeah.
the shit back then. Straight up, it was though. It
It's
was
not Alanis Morissette.
Oasis, brother.
Oasis. Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
bro.
I thought it was Alanis Morissette. She was popping too back
She
then.
was
but-
popping.
Yeah.
She was.
But yeah, that's just it, man. I just grew up in a background of just different music and real music lovers. I realized that from my dad and my uncles and my cousins, my brothers, all of them always had big stereo systems all the time, big speakers all the time. So music was just always like very present for me more than some other people, like a neighbor friend of mine. He had to work a lot with his dad, so music wasn't really the thing for him. So, different people have different ways and how they get into the music and how it affects their lives, and it impacted me so much so that I got to give back to the music now.
So my next question naturally would be like, when did you realize that you were good at it? Because I remember when I first heard of you, I have a cousin in LaSalle who's a little younger than us, and he was telling me about this kid Unique, and I was Technique back then. So I was like, man, who the fuck? What are you talking? Like, no, straight up, I was on some
Of
like battle rap
course.
shit back then,
Me
right?
too.
So. And then I was working with a producer named Minoza, and your name popped up with him too. I think you might have worked with him a 1-2 time. He had a studio out in the Point, and your name popped up again. So I'm like, yo, this guy's name keeps popping up. Who the fuck? So I'm like, let me just listen. And I was like, damn, son, he's nice. Like, when did you realize that, like, maybe it wasn't just a hobby and that you were actually good at this and you wanted to run with it?
I just realized in the past year that I'm gonna really run with it. I decided I'm like,
okay.
I've been rapping forever, and it's like, nah, I'm not having this. This life, this ain't for me. I gotta do what I'm supposed to do. So it was like just the past 2 years where I'm like, yo, I'm gonna really go for it. But when I realized, and I'm still forever realizing too, is that I was nice when I was like 12, 13 years old, battle rapping with just friends in school, and when the lockers were in the locker area, and then a freestyle starts off, and now we're rapping, and then every person who attended lunch that for that period is looking at us right in the locker area.
Big
So
time.
it's like all eyes on us. People aren't even going to the washroom; they're holding the piss. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
because that's what it was. It was just like it was an evolution, and we were like the 12, 13 years old, and we're the first rappers in a school of like 2,000 kids.
Yeah.
So I realized from then, it was like the first week of school, first 2 weeks of school, I realized it was nice, because once the first set of raps started going, everyone would always ask. It'd be in between periods. People are like, when's the next rap session? When you guys rapping? So I'm like, I must be nice at this. And every time I kept thinking about it, just in school, I couldn't think about schoolwork. It was just mainly the raps.
Once you start getting that type of attention, especially at that age, it's like, yo, It is kind of like a drug, because honestly, it's weird because I started off the same way, like battling older people in my high school and dusting everything and everyone around, bro. And then I became known as that guy, you know. And it's like, but without that, like I really didn't have much. Listen, I wasn't gonna be a ball player, you know what I mean? Like so I wasn't a jock. I wasn't necessarily one of the smart. I mean, I was pretty smart, but I wasn't a nerdy kid. So it's like, I found my claim to fame early, you know, and I feel like it probably happened with you too. You're over here being humble, but I'm pretty sure you were dusting people too in the freestyle sessions, because I know Tokes puts it down still. Pause, you know what I mean? But real shit.
It was at first it was just me and another artist, Scarface, and we were rapping.
Shout out to Face, bro.
from LaSalle. And we would be rapping, if not every day, like every other day. It'd be every week that it's happening, that we're outside school now. We're on the corner. We're in the laneways.
For sure.
Now it's becoming a thing. More and more people are getting involved in this rap. Not only rap, people are finding their way in. There's like dance crews and there's people who are artsy. There's people who are playing cards. You know what I mean? Like everyone's finding their way and stuff. But the hip hop thing started taking off. More and more people started rapping, and it, to be honest, I wouldn't say that I took any losses, you know, but I had to hand it to some of the other opponents that I had, because it was like, wow, I'm impressed. This is
listen, just Face alone. I know Face could freestyle, especially back then. His whole family is like that. They just
Anybody
go off.
who knows him,
If I may though, like, how do you guys do it? How do you guys go in front of all these people and just like, I wouldn't be able to do it, so I don't understand it, because I'm not into the music.
Addictive,
I'm not into
bro.
music, but
it's
like,
addictive.
how does one do it? Like the
It's like-
confidence that's involved in.
Do you
standing in front of
remember
all
your
the
first
people?
rap that you kicked publicly? Not the lyrics.
No,
the
it
experience.
was all freestyle back then. All freestyle.
No, not the first line. The experience.
The experience, yeah, bro. The first battle I ever did was against. I was starting to be known as somebody who rapped and shit. And this we had an adult ed attached to Billings, and this native dude was in adult ed. He was like fucking probably 20. He looked 25 to me at the time, because I was like 13, 14. She's like, what then? You want to battle? I was like, it's your funeral, fuckface. Let's do this shit. So we end up battling, and like all the older cats, like fucking like Face's older brother, that little crew, they were all there watching. All the people from adult ed were watching, and I just ate this guy's food mercilessly, bro.
Nice.
And I do actually remember a line just came to me as the wackest line in the history of rap, but it hit at that time. I said some shit about something hip hop. My shit's so ill, I make the Bloods do the Crip walk, and everybody was like, ah! And I was like, yo, like, I was like, yo, I want to do this for real. Like, this is, yo, I like this feeling, you know.
So it's addictive, right?
Yeah, big time. Big time.
My introduction, like, it was Face that I was battling, but the one thing that I remember, and this is what sparks and it stays with me all the time, someone in the crowd, there was a dance battle, and this girl was killing this next boy. I don't want to call no names and shame nobody, but she was killing them. Crip walking and Harlem shaking and popping, and I'm like, oh my God. So she finishes him off, and then someone in the crowd says, hey man, who got something to say? And I'm like, that's me.
It's like, I have something to say.
I got something. I think I got something to say. And that was the introduction still.
That's ballsy. That's ballsy. I can never.
Did it ever get super heated in one of these? Like people had to pull you apart, or
no, because it was
friendly.
like a respect level that was. The respect level was insane. Like, and if you got beat, we're still shaking hands.
Okay,
like,
good. It was like that. It was a real camaraderie, you know.
I gotta go to class after.
Exactly.
You going to the same class too? No.
Exactly.
Right,
Nah, but and one thing I appreciate about our era, which is like what we were talking about off camera, was like back then, you know, I don't know if it's the same now because of the access to social media and the access to just be able to literally go to the studio, put a song out. Like anybody can do it, right? But back then, like back when we were coming up, it's like if you wanted to call yourself, you could probably relate to this too. Like if you wanted to call yourself a rapper, okay, but we're gonna test you now. Like it's like if I call myself, if I walk around telling everybody I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, eventually someone's gonna be like, let's roll then, right? And that's how it was back then. It's like, oh, you're a rapper, let's battle now. And you couldn't turn that shit down. And I feel like today that doesn't exist as much anymore. It's like, you know, oh, I'm a rapper, I went to the studio and I put a song out on YouTube, I'm a rapper, and it's like, okay, let's battle. It's like, oh, I don't battle rap. And it's like, bro, like, you know, back in our day, that was not, you couldn't.
right now, right?
Exactly.
It's like, insane.
It's
But
not
as,
the same.
as far
Which
as
is
the
a good thing as well,
freestyling-
right?
As far as this freestyling, I don't know. I can't. It's not my cup of tea. You know, what I mean, even back in the day when I was rapping it, freestyling that wasn't my forte. I don't want to fucking embarrass myself, so I'm like, yo, you hold that. You know what I mean? Do what you gotta do, but I'll be there to support it. I'll watch the battles and this and that, but I'm not gonna put my foot in and then get fucking embarrassed. You know, I'll write the bars and that's it.
But you can't go in with that mentality. Like, I'm about to be embarrassing myself out here.
With some friends, okay, I'll do it. I'll do it with some friends, kicking it, having
Going
some
with the
drinks.
mentality like, yo, I got something to say.
Yeah, no.
And they're about
I'm
to
sizing you. If I know we're battling, I'm like, okay, what's he wearing? Are his teeth fucked up? I'm looking for everything about
going
you, and I'm formulating this shit in my head, like from the jump. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you.
The idea is to disrespect your opponent in
Exactly.
the worst way.
Exactly.
And it's crazy too, you know. It's like there's kind of no limits to what you can say in a battle. I
That's
guess
true.
you know,
It's true.
Yeah.
there's no limits.
So you went from the battle scene.
Mm-hmm.
You progressed and started formulating songs and everything.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start putting out records? When did you have your first mixtape or your first album? What was it called?
I put out a track. It was just like, where could you put out music at the age that I released? Right? I was like 15 years old. I was like
CDs, straight to CD.
Yeah, like if it wasn't CD, it was like literally through MSN at that time. I'm like, yo, send this to your friends. Send this to your friends. We had like people from West Island on MSN, everything. Like,
Trust
like
me, all the
different
gal them
different-
from the West Island schools.
different schools and everything.
Yo,
so
it's funny, bro.
So yeah, we would send the track around. I came back to school one day, and the homie that I went to the studio with, he's like, "Yo, you sent out the track. We didn't even get the track mixed." I'm like, "Sent out the track?" I'm like, "I sent it to 2 people. I MSN it. They just kept sending it around." So it was early for me. Like I said, 15. So you do the math. Like 32 now. It's like 17 years ago. Man.
So you can't even remember what it was,
17
the
years,
title
that's
or
amazing,
anything
man.
back then. It's lost
been
in
a-
the wind.
Yeah, it's gone. I don't want to remember those lyrics anyway.
No,
Naturally.
but
That's-
it's
I'll
progression,
I'll
though.
tell
It's
you what,
progression over
I
time,
wish
though.
I could get that hunger back from back then, though. I was never able to get the hunger I had when I was a teenager back, bro. Like, fuck. I feel like I was nicer back then than I am now, honestly. Lyrically, like, I was just writing every day, like, super passionate about it, into it. Nowadays, it's just like, you want to make a song? All right, we'll fire up the studio. Let's do it, you know? But it's not
exactly.
like there's no...
Now you have kids, dude. It's different. It's a
Exactly.
different
Like,
ball
fuck it,
game,
I'm
you
all-
know what I
in the
mean?
middle of the song, like, put that shit down. All right, hit record. We're good. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
You're still nice.
It was a different fire, but you have to look at the growth too. Also now we're way better now than ever. You know, like because we've learned a lot throughout the whole time.
Nah, for sure.
We've been learning the
For
whole
sure.
time. So
For sure. That's for sure. You've had 17 years to hone your skills and everything. So you have that under your belt. So that's super cool. It's dope.
yeah.
Now the rebranding has happened. You're back as Tokyo Sensei.
Yeah.
What's next in store for Tokyo Sensei? Because I went on the Instagram. I wanted to get a feel of what's going on. I only see 19 posts.
I know I had taken
So-
down some of my posts because I'm not a model or anything like that.
Okay, that
So
too.
I say, yo, you know what? Hold up. I need to give them what I'm here for. They need to hear the music. Enough of this posing up and all of this stuff. I don't even like the camera. To
There you
begin
go.
with, you know? So I'm like, okay, what's in store for me? I could tell you, but then everyone will know, right? But I'm just planning to drop a whole lot of music and just start collaborating with a whole lot of people.
Dope.
Because I said, you know what? It's not just me. I could focus on me the entire time. I got a lot of solo songs, but now I'm getting the feel to, oh man, I need to collab with this pianist. I gotta collab with this girl who's playing guitar, you know? Like, I'm trying to take the music to another level now.
That's definitely what I think that's needed as an artist too. You know, you don't want to keep making the same type of music that you've been making all your life.
Yeah.
If you get to collaborate with a pianist or guitarist or
Yeah.
spice up the music, you're gonna broaden your horizons and just gonna elevate.
Of course.
Yeah, that's super dope. I like that.
Well, I went on your Spotify and I listened to your music and I saw that like you change your flow like a lot, like you try different things.
Yeah.
Does that stem back from like your mom and listening to different music, your family and all that? And wanting the pianist thing and everything? I don't know.
I only realized it when it was my cousin who told me. He's just like, yo, I listen because I play him all my music. And he's like, yo, listen to the music. And he's just like, yo, I realize that the flow is changing, you know, you're keeping the people like in it, because it's like, it's not the same 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be, or, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do that whole thing again.
Over and over.
Yeah. It's like, switch it up. And I think music is a feeling thing, you know? I don't want it to be too feeling like generic, like anybody could just put this together. Like, oh, anybody put that together. Like, what do you feel when you feel the music, you know? And it's just like, for me, it's like, if the beat is hot enough too, it's just like, the lyrics got to be rhythmic too. It got to be melodic, and you got to be at the same time saying the right thing to get people to feel what you're feeling too, you know?
It's a vibe, bro. And like I mentioned it on like some of the early episodes that we did, but I built during the pandemic, the pandy, I built a studio in my house. And for me, that shit has been so life-changing in terms of my creative process, because I realized I was doing it the wrong way all these years. Like for me, I was the type of guy, find a beat that I'm vibing to and the song will write itself. That's always my thing. I never forced it. But since I got the stew, bro, I haven't written since I built the studio. I don't write anymore. I just find the vibe. And honestly, I'm not, because I'm kind of embracing the singing thing now. And like, so I throw on the auto tune, obviously, and I just catch a vibe, find my melody. Yeah. And I just build the song around that, bro. And like, I just feel like creatively, the music is so much better now that I'm able to just experiment. And bro, I'm literally at home recording in my boxers and a fucking wife beater. Like, you know what I mean? Chilling. That's the vibe though for me.
Relax, bro. Yeah, relax. You know what I mean? You're comfortable in your zone.
Yeah.
I wanted to move it to another subject 1 second, because, you know, we're talking about music, but there's a lot of stuff that's going on music related on TV right now that we haven't been talking about it.
Like what? Talk about it.
The Wu-Tang Clan, the Wu-Tang Clan show is pretty dope. I don't know if you've been watching the series.
Season 2, baby.
Season 2 just came out.
I haven't even seen the show,
bro.
And so many people have told me they're like, you need to, a man like you needs to watch this show.
No, it's
I'm
super
like,
fire.
Man.
It's super fire.
I'm like, I'm missing out.
Season one was incredible.
Yeah.
Well shot too.
Very well shot. Very well shot. I think a man of your stature should actually watch that show.
Yeah.
Maybe it's gonna light a fire under your ass too, because you're gonna be watching all this stuff from the golden era.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see the hustle and the struggle to get to what they got to. And it's very well done. It's very well acted. Aside from RZA, I don't know if you've noticed the character that plays RZA, he has the worst fucking accent, trying to act like RZA.
What are you gonna do?
So besides that, everything else is like super dope about
It's
the
an
show.
HBO.
No, it's
Hulu.
It's a Hulu show.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So you
I
gotta watch
watch it.
that show.
I watch it on an Android box, allegedly, of course.
What else? Raising Kanan. You've been watching that?
I have.
See, there now we can talk about something.
Yeah.
That show, 50 Cent, whenever he gets on board with something, it's always fucking entertaining. It always keeps me watching.
He's actually really good at that, like Power.
Look, I like Power. Power was good. Towards the end, it started getting a little iffy. There was just too much of this.
I didn't watch
The
it.
spin-off is really not good.
The spin-off with... Did you watch the one with
No.
Tariq or whatever?
I didn't.
I
didn't.
like that.
It was just one of the
I don't like
homies
that at
again.
all.
Still, man, I'm out of La La Land. I don't be watching the TV and stuff
too.
like
I'm
that.
on the same
so
shit.
the homie's just like, watch this Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. I'm like, oh, what's it about, bro? He's like, it's 50 show. Just watch it. It's serious. I'm like, oh, all right, cool. And I watched it, and it's not done yet. They're
Not
coming
done
with
yet.
the finale,
I think we got one episode left before the finale.
Yeah.
But it's been a nice ride that first season so far.
I like the characters, the dynamic that they have and stuff. Like it's you can see it's family business.
Yeah.
Is it? It's not music. Is it music related?
No,
I haven't seen it.
It's not music related.
It's Las
It
Calles,
could,
man,
it
the
could be
streets,
music
bro,
related.
Oh yeah, look.
Oh, so it's okay.
Actually, at this
With
point,
one of the characters,
one
it
of
could
the
be music related.
one of the characters right now, he's breaking into it. He just
Lulu.
Lulu. He took
I gotta
over the
watch
fucking
this.
record business. I think he muscled in there, so that's good. There was something else. There was what's her name, the mother. I forgot what the.
Why does her name always slip my mind?
I don't remember what, Raquel.
Raquel.
Yeah, that's it. Raquel. She's the only one that I find she's overacting too much. Just a little something that she's always like. The way you see her, like she's like giving him this long ass 5 minutes.
Mr.
talk
Director
about why
over
she
here,
got
always with the
kill this dude.
overacting. And
Facts.
Yeah.
she squints too much.
But I love the show. I want to see what's gonna happen with this season.
I don't know.
finale.
I just like her character because I'm just like, oh wow, this is what they got going on, and they listen to their sister, you know. And it's very serious, some of the things that they're into, you know.
Yeah.
You're on the road, so it's like, wow, they listen to their sister. So, and then she'll let them know, it's like, you're fucking up.
But
fucking up my business.
exactly. So
You
she's
know?
always letting them know. She's always letting them know you're
So-
fucking up my shit.
Yeah.
So now I have to watch it.
But did
I
you see
never gonna
Power or
see it.
no?
No, I didn't see
Exactly.
it.
So look, if you watch Power, you're gonna see the correlation between the characters from this show,
Right.
and you're gonna see them in that same show as old people, as old folks, basically 30 and 40 year olds.
Wait, this is a spin-off
Yeah.
of Power?
No, in Power, that's where you have 50 Cent's character, Kanan. So Kanan's this like fucking
yes,
rough
that's
dude that's
right.
going around robbing people and shit like that.
Okay, so it's a dedicated story just about Kanan.
Exactly. It's just
Oh, see,
about
now
his
I wanna-
character.
So 50's in it.
So
It's
50,
50 show.
50's narrating it. So and you also have like his cousin Jukebox.
Yeah.
His cousin Jukebox is in the show Power. She's like a crooked cop. So
Okay.
right now we're seeing, like, I don't know if you noticed, like she got let go by the cops. She's having a little friendly relationship with one of them.
Right.
So this is why in the future she probably becomes a crooked cop on her own and stuff like that. So you got to watch that show. You got to watch it, see
I'm gonna
the
watch
connection. You know what I mean? It's really dope.
It's
Yeah.
like 50. 50 always knows how to put it together,
Facts,
you know.
bro.
Big business, man.
50 is the man.
There's that
I
BMF
like
show
it.
coming out too
Yeah,
right now.
that
That
I'm
I'm looking forward to.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward
Looking
towards
forward to
that
that.
Big Meech Black Mafia family. I want to see. I saw the first
Heavy.
look. The first look. I don't know if you saw the trailer
Yeah.
for it. It's looking pretty
Looks fire,
badass.
bro.
Snoop Dogg's in it. There's a bunch of faces in
Yeah,
it.
looks fire. Did you see Ja Rule versus Fat Joe?
No,
The
I did
Versuz.
not watch Ja Rule versus
you
Fat
should've
Joe.
watched
I
that,
should have still, to be honest.
Listen,
I watched
everybody
some of
says
the
Ja
other ones,
Rule
but-
won. Fuck out of here.
Look, I watched it too.
That bullshit.
Ja Rule's still making music?
No,
No,
but he
no,
did
no.
like a versus against Fat Joe, like hit versus hit, which
He had more hits.
yeah, of
people
course
are
he
gonna
did.
hate me for this, but yeah,
course
for
he did.
real.
No,
Ja
he
Rule
does. He
got
does have
more
more
hits,
hits.
man.
Don't forget who we were singing to the girls.
Nah,
them, like,
facts,
you know?
facts. Before
But you
50
heard
came
the
out,
crowd.
Fifth Ja Rule was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, but yo, I don't know who, this is what the fuck, I don't know who books these crowds for these versus fucking showdowns, but bro, I don't know if the crowd was just a bunch of like fucking 31-year-old white girls or some shit, but like Fat Joe comes out to Flow Joe, which is like one of the all-time classic New York tracks. Like when that beat comes on, if you're next to me, I'm robbing you. Like that's how hard that fucking
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
goes. Bro, the crowd silent. So you guys aren't reacting to Flow Joe. Sure enough, Ja Rule comes on, what would you do without and the whole crowd is like, ah! I'm like, bro, this is fucking.
That's
You
the
already know.
generation.
It's
though, right?
already
You have to
happened.
know
This
the
is
crowd. You have to
whack,
know how to
bro.
work the crowd.
But
you know?
Fat Joe shouldn't have went against Ja Rule. I think Ja Rule should have went against 50 at the risk of him getting punched in the face. That would have been a fucking versus.
Yeah.
Or Ja Rule versus even like Nelly, because like they're both pop. They have the hits and shit like that.
that wouldn't
You know?
that wouldn't
That
I
definitely
don't think
makes
it would
sense.
have ended well.
50 would have won though. I don't think anybody's fucking with 50 on versus. People forget how many records 50 has, bro.
I definitely think
I know.
50 would have won, but like I have to agree with Tokyo. I don't think it would have ended well because there's gonna be some shady shit that's gonna happen on stage. Somebody's gonna sucker
Obviously, it's
punch
business,
somebody.
but it's just like
Ja Rule would have got his chain
hurting
taken.
my heart with all of this.
Wait, is Ja Rule
It's
like
crazy talk.
like gangster like that? Like
No, 50 is
Okay.
though.
It's
look,
not
it's
about if
still-
Ja Rule. I want people to understand this too. It's not about whether the person is gangster or not. That person is a man first, you know.
Yeah. Fendi.
And if you kind of put some respect on your own name still, then you're not gonna let no man kind of just disrespect you like that. Like I've seen people get punched in the mouth just over a look because you're looking at me too long. You
Yeah.
know? People excuse themselves in a conversation with me to go punch somebody in the mouth because they're staring at them too long. So it's not about gangster. It's just like, are you a man first? You say, oh, what's up? You know me from somewhere?
Yeah, and let's
don't
not forget, you know what I
don't
mean?
me, and that's how fast things happen.
Exactly.
Still, so you gotta. It's not about being gangster. You gotta defend yourself out here if something's coming your way. You know.
Mhm. And let's not forget too, that's New York. Everybody got gangsters on both sides.
New
Whoever-
York.
It's people are moving a certain way down there. You know what I mean? You look at the labels. There's Murder Inc. There's 50 Cent. There's all these guys like.
well, I know
Maybe.
50 can box. That's for sure.
Yeah. He
I don't know if Ja Rule can box
He definitely
anything,
can.
but I know 50 can box.
Ja Rule looks like he's a ripped motherfucker, bro.
That doesn't mean shit.
You know
No,
what I
50
mean?
can box for real.
It's
no.
it's gym muscles, bro. It doesn't-
50,
doesn't
50
mean shit.
owns
Anyways,
a boxing.
I don't know him
yeah,
personally.
that's,
I don't know
whatever
him
you call it.
personally. I don't know what the man's been through
No, I
or
know him
anything
personally.
like
Yeah,
that.
he hangs out at the crib all the time.
Ja
No,
Rule,
he
yeah.
boxes- Not Ja Rule. Fuck Ja Rule.
What would I be without you?
It's a good song though.
So yeah, back to that battle there. That battle. Fat Joe came out with all these gangster ass tracks.
Mm.
All these tracks that, like you said, the crowd's not moving to. The reason being is because that whole crowd was probably a bunch of young girls that all wanted to come see
girls
Jago.
our age who were in high school.
Oh, yeah,
when
exactly.
Ashanti was on top of the world. You know
Exactly. But he came out, man. As every song that he was coming out with that was a hitter, you heard the crowd.
Nah, for sure.
They were going ape shit. Fat Joe, he had some great comedy that he came with when he was grilling him about the Fire Fest.
Yeah.
And saying bologna sandwiches for everybody. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. You know what I mean?
Fat Joe's still one in my book, but I'm a little biased. But yo, Tokes, man, what the fuck? What do I know? You got the J's out right now. The song is J's, and that shit is out right now. What's
It's not actually my record,
But
I'm on the record. I'm on
you're
there.
plugging it though, and you
I'm on
do
there.
your
We're
thing.
plugging it.
Yo, Tokes is low key like sort of like a Jadakiss-esque figure in my mind, because like you're one of these guys that like whether it's a feature or your own track, like I've never heard Tokes with a whack verse ever in life.
Thank you.
Like
It's a
real talk,
blessing.
and that's a big compliment from me, because I'm a hater still, you know.
No, me too. I'm a hater too. Still, it's nice. We could agree on things, you know. But yeah, I appreciate the love. I always feel like if you're gonna go give somebody a verse, you gotta give them the best of the best. And I've even realized that from collaborating and seeing other people collaborate. I'm like, yo, when they get together, when they do their own thing, it's something, yeah, definite. But when they get together, they feel like they gotta give 300%.
yeah.
Like they gotta go in. So the collabs, you can't give no people no whack verses. I'm not gonna come back to you ever and be like, oh man, Tokyo gave me a whack verse, bro. Never want to hear that again.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah, you can't send out. You're
No, I
sending
mean-
a product out to somebody else, and they're gonna fucking make fun of you and shit.
No,
Like,
and
yeah,
I mean,
that
look,
shit's whack.
it's rap at the end of the day, and we're from the era we're from, so it's an unspoken rule that it is a competition. Even if we're best friends, if we do a record together, we're competing.
Yeah.
Make no
Well-
mistake about it.
Well, the crazy part about it is that a friend of mine let me know that the other day, like a couple weeks back. He's like, whether or not you want to believe it, he's like, it's a competition.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I'm not competing. He's like, it's a competition though. I'm like, but I'm not competing. He's like, yes, you are technically
Yeah,
competing.
like, subconsciously you are. Though.
whether or not you want to compete,
No.
you're already in the game.
Yeah.
It's a Fendi.
Gotta compete.
Yeah.
But nothing wrong with some friendly competition.
It
too,
brings
you
the best out of you, honestly. Like straight up, it really does.
It's like sparring, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just training yourself and just honing your skills, dude.
know? Yeah.
In the future, what do you see happening? Do you see yourself opening up a label, doing stuff on the back end, out of the scenes, out of the limelight and everything? Because I know that there's gonna come to a certain point, Tokes is gonna be like, "Yeah, I gotta hang up the microphone, or
Yeah.
I gotta step back."
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to hang up the microphone anytime soon. I just want
You
to,
heard?
because I thought about it so many times. Like me, I battle, I battle with myself. So every other day I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm done with this music thing. It's over. No more music. I'm quitting. And then I wake up the next morning. I'm like, nah, that was a lie. But
So you're the biggest, you're your own biggest critic. Basically.
yeah. And then I decided, I'm just like, you know what? Like, since I said, I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. Like, what I see for myself is just releasing a lot more music. And I took it upon myself, even with COVID and stuff. I'm just going to see how things play. But I'm looking forward to traveling and going around the world with this music, because that's what I wanted to do. I'm like, oh, someone asked me, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to go to different places in the world. And I want to collaborate with musicians down there, and I just want to enjoy my time. And if I can make some money while I'm there, that'd be cool too.
Hell yeah.
You know? And it's like, that's dope. So I'm like, wait, hold on. Am I waiting for a record label to come and do this for me? I must be crazy. There's billions of people in the world. I gotta just go do this. So I'm figuring I'm just gonna, I'm slowly putting myself in a position where I can and be able to go and travel to some different places. And I'm just aligning the stars now so I can go and do that. But I have some other business ventures, man. I'm looking to dabble in some alcohol and stuff too.
Okay,
but
cool.
I'm just taking my time.
And as far as traveling, have you had the opportunity to do that before? Or
I've been trapped in Canada,
trapped your whole life in
Trapped.
Canada, basically?
I've been trapped here. Yeah, I went to like Connecticut one time, but it wasn't nothing It wasn't nothing too major. We didn't go many places, you know.
That's because you went to Connecticut.
Yeah,
That's what's in Connecticut.
Yeah, I know.
WWE headquarters.
We went to the
Seriously?
mall and there was
Yeah.
it was a lot more people than I expected to be there, and everyone was looking at me though in Connecticut. They're like, we know he's not from here.
And you went to Connecticut for what reason though? Was it like
Oh, it was a birthday party.
Oh, birthday party,
Yeah, it was a
okay.
birthday
Bro, they were in the mall like, is that JR right over there? That looks like
They
JR
didn't
right
know. They didn't know. I had the brim low too, you know. But yeah, that's just it, man. I've been to Toronto a bunch of times because my dad would moved out there, and along with my dad, my aunts, my uncles, and some other folk, well, they all went down there too. So it made it easier to go back and forth between here and there. Ottawa, yeah, but I kept it close. I kept it real close. That's why I'm saying, yeah, and that's the only advice some of my friends can give me. They're like, yo, if you could do anything in this life, travel.
It changes you.
It does.
Like
It makes you
people-
very patient.
Like people know I'm an avid traveler. Before this whole pandemic, twice a year I'd be
In the jungles
I'd be
of
somewhere
Bolivia and
twice
shit.
a
This
year, you know what I
motherfucker,
mean?
yeah, it's
So-
a fact.
I got capped at 13 countries, I think, 14 countries right now. So I can't wait till I start traveling again. What countries do you have on your list that you want to start making these connections in? Because you have to have a strategy. You have to be like,
Yeah.
okay, it's popping over here. They're doing this type of music. I want to make this type of fusion record.
The UK, bruv.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody says the UK.
there's a lot- I
Everything
know.
goes to
I'm
the
gonna
UK,
I'm
though.
gonna leave them off of the the list for a sec, you know. But Japan, definitely
for
to
sure.
That's
start,
smart, yeah.
you know.
Makes sense. Branding.
Jamaica as well.
Jamaica.
Brazil,
Slovakia.
Egypt.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, bro. I'm telling you.
That's true.
I got
That is
something
true.
out to
Slovakia,
forget.
Czechoslovakia, yeah.
Everywhere, man. Germany, wherever we go to the States. I didn't even go to the States yet. So New York, whatever, Florida, Chicago, North Carolina, South Carolina. We're going everywhere. Atlanta, but some other countries I just want to go. I want to tour the islands first, actually.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Like Jamaica, I know
Yeah,
you go to Jamaica, man, you're gonna have a blast down there.
nice.
You're gonna come back with so many stories, and you're gonna just as soon as you land back to Canada, you're gonna want to fly back to Jamaica.
It's that good.
That's how much you're
I'm
gonna
gonna
love
make
it,
sure
you
to
know
stay a
what
while. Then,
Yeah,
So you might end up with a kid you don't know about that too.
Oh,
Gotta be
yeah.
careful out there. You know what I'm saying?
Look, you'll never go back to Jamaica. That's all.
But how about
I'm going back. I gotta go back.
yeah? But how about Japan though? Like, what strategy do you have in mind to make this happen? Like, I think the best strategy to do is find a producer to work with from Japan or something like that. He gives you all these
Way
records,
ahead of you.
know?
I'm working with like 3 different producers in Japan right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah, from Tokyo. So I'm cooking up a project. I've yet to even mention the name of the project's called 3, and it's I produce half of the album, and the other half is from producers from Japan. So
Okay.
yeah,
That's wicked, bro.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
wicked.
Jay
dope.
Poutine I got on there. I got another producer, Tatooine, on there, and also another producer named Fanny that's on there. So he produced 1 record on
So
there.
what's the hip hop over there sound like?
It's a lot like what's mainstream right now in North America.
Really?
But because there's so many people, there's another market for like
Boom
the
bap
gold,
and
the
shit.
boom bap,
Yeah.
the golden era hip hop. You know, so right now they're going in on a lot of heavier beats with 808s and stuff.
Can I
I've
ask you a
realized.
question?
Yeah.
Is there such thing as Japanese auto-tune rap?
Yeah.
Please tell me there
Yeah,
is.
sure.
This
For
is
sure.
the greatest
I wanna
thing.
hear it.
I am
When we go on the
Googling
phone and
the
stuff.
fuck out of this when we get off air. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, they're on it still.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're out there, man.
That's
It's
crazy,
just
man.
yo. If you look at a lot of different countries, the hip hop is like, it's influenced the world, bro.
Yeah, big time.
You know,
big time.
So
Big time.
You could find auto tune melodies everywhere, in
That's
every country.
crazy.
Like, yeah.
That's
and,
crazy.
And you mentioned Brazil. You have anything cooking with that? Any producers that you're working with in Brazil, or any plans to start working with an artist in Brazil or
I
a
haven't
DJ?
quite made that connection yet, but I've realized that, you know, sometimes I'd sample some like bossa nova music or like some like Pete Escovedo records or something like that, you know, and I'm like, yo, I gotta really make the connection between me and over there.
Yeah.
Not just one specific place, just over there. What's
Facts.
going on over there, you know?
Like, I think one avenue you gotta look into Colombia, man. It's right next to Brazil.
But that's what I'm
Colombia?
saying, just
Yeah.
over there.
No, because he's been to Colombia. That's why.
Yeah,
Okay.
but even that. But I'm saying Brazil's Portuguese, right? It's a Portuguese
yeah.
market. It's not as big right now, and the bigger market is Spanish. It's the Latino market, and right now Colombia is dominating the reggaeton world.
Yeah.
If you notice, everybody that's winning awards, they're either Puerto Rican or they're Colombian. Puerto Rican, Colombian.
It is actually true.
You got Maluma, you got J Balvin, you got Karol G.
I can't
They're
stand
all Colombian.
Maluma or whatever the fuck that guy's name is. What's that guy? Maluma?
Maluma.
Fuck that guy.
That's your best friend.
It's just fire.
Maluma's
B.
I love Maluma. Yeah.
Maluma.
Yeah.
That's just fire.
So that market is what's in right now. You got to fuse with that too, man. I'm telling you.
Definitely.
He's got my
I think in the
girlfriend liking
future,
him
that's what
and
you guys
shit.
are gonna see.
That's why you don't like him.
I don't like him.
You hate him, bro.
I hate
Anyways,
him.
enough. On to the next thing.
I'm
Stop
trying to
hating
go to
on Maluma.
Brazil in 90 Day Fiance, and I ain't even gonna hold you up.
The 90-day fiance shit.
Yeah,
Nah,
trying
That's
to
a
trying to
smart
bring
move.
back a wife
No,
that
no.
doesn't know how to use a phone. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. That's a
That's
good
the
idea.
move right there.
why not? So Tokyo,
Yeah.
you've had a long, illustrious career. Let's put it that way. What are some highlights that you remember throughout the 17 years that you can look back on and say, "Fuck, that was one of my favorite shows," or "That was one of my favorite tracks that I did," or "One of my favorite moments hanging out with these artists," or
There was a group. There's still a group. Everyone's still doing their thing. It's just like life takes us. But Northern Lights, if you haven't heard
Yeah,
of Northern
Northern
Lights,
Lights, yeah.
When Fixavelli kind of linked me to them because he was working with them as well, they had some shows going on, and they're like, "Yo, I want to bring you in on the show." I'm like, "Let's do it." And it was SCP Car Show. Back in the day, it was maybe 13 years ago. And it was at the Olympic Stadium. So I
lit.
performed in the
That's
Olympic
lit.
Stadium, bro.
No,
That's
see,
You
that's
know,
that's
and
that's
that
a
was
memory.
that was a great memory for me. I'm like, wow, they have other rapper friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could have brought anybody, and they're just like, "Yo, I want you to come do a piece," you know? I'm like, all right, cool. So that was very memorable for me. It was people everywhere. There was lowriders and models and cameras flashing. It was like the experience, I guess, that whatever you think, when you feel like, or maybe it's just my kid eyes like that I'm looking through,
For
but
sure.
it's just
It's
like
giving you a taste
when
of
you think
life,
this is the
you know?
place where you're supposed, this
Yeah.
is where you're supposed
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah,
You
big
know?
time. Big time.
Yeah. Some other highlights, to be honest, you guys interviewed Trey Lamont
Yeah.
Yeah.
a couple episodes ago. Working with him, actually, that was a highlight as well. Sure.
Fly Estate days, bro.
Yeah, those days
For sure.
you know,
Good days.
working with him, we were all like transitioning and leveling up and like getting new skills
Yeah.
at that time. You know, it was a big highlight just getting to work with him and some other artists at that time. Getting the radio show, another highlight to me. The story behind that, Louise, like there was a lady at the radio show, at the radio station that is, and she wanted some help to fill in for a show, you know, and I got the opportunity to fill in for one show. I called Widget, and we got a DJ.
Shout out to Widget too.
Yes,
We're gonna have you on soon, brother.
Black
Yes.
mode.
Called Widget, and we got a DJ, and we were able to do the show. And she called me back the following week, and she's just like, "Need you to fill in again." And I think third time was the charm, and they're like, "If you want to do the show, it's yours." And the crazy thing about it was like those few weeks before, like 3 weeks before, I told Widget, I'm like, "I think I'm gonna fill this application to get a radio show."
Yeah.
And he's just like, "Do it. Don't waste time. Do it." And I'm just like, "I'm gonna do it," and I didn't. And she called, and she called, and things just aligned like that. So you know, I think we gotta respect the power of our words.
Yeah, for sure. Big time.
You know,
Big time.
yeah. And also being here. This is another highlight because me, I'm looking to the future all the time and in the present moment. So we're
happy
right
to
here.
have
This
you,
is an
man.
accomplishment being right here with the MC, the host right here, and
And
you.
Talia.
And
Talia.
Pregnant
Right,
Talia.
right. Yep.
Man behind the camera, I tell you.
The Hey Gussel Pay Godcast, dog.
So we're very honored to have you at the table. You know what I mean? Thank you for
Respect.
sitting down. What are you listening to right now? Like, what's in your, okay, I was going to say CD player, but what's in your MP3 list?
You okay
Maluma.
today? You have a fever.
What's on your
Maluma.
Spotify playlist?
Maluma.
I'm not even listening to new West Side Gun. I'm listening to old West Side Gun.
Okay, all right.
I've been bumping a lot of that.
Reject
The-
2, Conway Reject 2, bro. That's my
What?
favorite tape from Griselda.
I've been bumping the Hitler or Where's Hermes 5.
Fire.
5. I'm like, oh man, this guy's different, you know? Yeah. Currency, I bumped some old Currency though.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the old Pilot Talks, you know? I haven't, to be honest, I can't be like I'm listening to a whole bunch of new artists. I've
Not
been
me either.
so focused on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I've been listening to this one dancehall artist, Intense.
Okay.
If you guys
Yeah.
like some dancehall, check for Intense. The guy's nice.
All right.
Who else is there? You know, I always will check for some J, some old
Of
J
course,
here
come on,
and
bro.
there. You know, it's
Reasonable
kinda
Doubt
like-
is on
yeah.
a loop in my car at all times.
I even like the Black album, which
Yeah,
is interesting.
I love it too. I love it too.
Who else? Let me go through my phone. I gotta go through my phone to tell you guys what I'm listening to. I
Jeez.
listen to me all day.
There you go.
You know,
Super facts.
I'm just listening to me. I'm critiquing my stuff all the time. I'm like, okay, maybe I could have done that better. You know, so I just got to make sure I'm sharp about what it is I'm doing. So I listen to a lot of my music and a lot of the people around me's music, like
You
Say
have to.
Less and Kellogg's World.
Like we just
Yeah.
brought up West Side Gun, right?
Yeah.
Conway, and didn't I see something recently that Tech wasn't too happy about? I don't know. You posted something recently.
Talk to me.
What I do?
I think he was wearing a skirt. Or,
Oh no, that was Conway. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was. Yeah, that shit pissed me off, son. Because
Oh,
like
man.
Kanye is like not Kanye. Conway the Machine is like one of the most prolific gangster rappers in the game right now. They like it's funny because 3 dudes from Buffalo brought New York City back, which
Yeah.
is
Right.
that's another
Yeah.
conversation in and of itself.
Yeah.
But then, I guess once you reach a certain level in the game and you get a certain level of bag, right? He stepped out in a fucking. I think it was either Hermes. I don't know if it was Hermes. It might have been
It was
fucking.
Hermes, yeah. It was Hermes, yeah.
Bro, the man's wearing a skirt, fam, and I'm just like. I don't want to do the whole Illuminati feminization of the Mandem conspiracy, but like, why are you wearing a skirt, fam?
No, I know.
What
got
are you doing?
You got some of the hardest bars
On Earth,
that Mandem I've ever heard.
like, bro, that's a skirt, and it's not a kilt. Stop it with the kilt talk. That's not a fucking
I
kilt.
didn't
You're not
see it.
Rowdy
I
Roddy
didn't see
Piper,
it.
dog. Relax.
If I open my mouth, we'll get canceled.
Well, yeah. Well, you know. Anyway, so yes, I was a little heated about that. So
all right.
At least he rocked their
Let's just say I'm not in agreement with some of their fashion choices. Well, how can I tell them on
yeah,
outfit dress?
exactly. It's not up to me, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I wear
And
my
like you
clothes,
said,
you wear your clothes, bro.
he got a bag for that too. you know?
Yeah, sure, but I
got a
mean,
bag
you
for
know,
that.
his bag was also flapping in the wind when he was wearing it. So that's a
There's a full-on dress for it.
Oh, dude, it was a skirt. Like he was wearing a skirt.
Seriously?
Yeah. What are you gonna do?
Ah,
All right.
Hey,
All right.
hey.
So at this point, we talked about the old days. We talked about halfway down the line, and we're talking about the future a bit as well.
yeah.
We're getting to this time of the day that we gotta hand you a gem.
Oh wait, Talia's got this.
But
Hold on.
Talia usually has this gem. So we have a gem that's usually on this table, and we give you a gem.
Talia took the gem home.
No, it's in the box. Go get it.
Jesus Christ! I thought she took it home.
So we're gonna hand you a gem right now, and you're gonna tell the people, you're gonna give them a bit of advice, some knowledge that they can take with them to better their game.
I'm gonna drop a gem for him. Is
yeah.
basically
Better
basically
their
what
game,
he's
get
alluding
their
to.
knowledge up. You know what I mean?
smell me?
There's Talia. Please hand him.
Thank you,
I
Talia.
got the gem right here.
Talia, please hand him the gem.
Here you go, bro.
Let me have this here. This is nice right here.
So something really poetic, man. Give us something.
It's poetry. Oh man. If I could tell you guys anything, I would just say, if you wake up to see another day and you do have a dream, to go chase the dream and really live the dream. The way that you can do it is just by focusing and actually writing it down on paper, something as simple as that, to bring things forward and into fruition by really going after the dream and seeing it on paper written. And also stay on top of what it is that you think you're doing by not focusing too much on what everybody else is doing. You know, love is love. If people love you that much, they'll respect the fact that you got to go forward and do some things for yourself. So focus on what you're doing. If you got a dream, chase the dream, and just focus on what you think you're doing and how you can make it better so that you could push forward and possibly even be able to help somebody else at the same time. Love.
That's some great words right there.
That's inspiring. For
It
real.
feels like something I'd hear from Meek Mill, Dream Chasers. You know what I mean? Chase your dreams, guys.
Don't kill me.
So it's We got to hear all these wonderful, inspirational stories from you today. I got to learn a little bit about you because, like I said, you deleted a bunch of shit off Instagram, so it's making it a little hard. And give a shout out, man. Who you're working with right now before we go? Like, who you're working with? Who's part of the crew?
I'm working with Say Less. I'm working with Kellogg's World. I'm working with Cali. I'm working with you guys right now. I'm also working with Sales. If you guys know Sales,
He wants to come on as well. We're gonna have Sales on very soon. Shout out to Sales.
I'm working with Richie Rich. I'm working with everybody. To say that.
That's
I'm working
the
with
man's
the city
fucking
right
working,
now.
man. He's working.
Native 808. What's up?
Native from west to east.
That's my
Let's
blood
go.
right there.
Yeah.
And where can the people find you?
The people can find me. You can follow me on Instagram at Tokyo Sensei. The first E in Sensei is a 3, and the same thing on Twitter at Tokyo Sensei. The same thing S3NSEI. And you can check me on Spotify. All that Tokyo Sensei. It's all together. No 3 this time.
Links will be below. Right.
Links always below. Always below the video.
Show 'em.
And before we go, actually, why 3? I wanted to get to that. Why is it titled 3?
I knew this was coming.
I wanted to ask it before. I wanted to ask before, but I totally forgot.
All right. Well, my favorite number is 3 to start. That's one reason. The second reason, I've always found that throughout the course of my life, throughout these 17 years, that I've always worked well in groups of 3. It has always happened like that, always working with sets of artists, and it always has been groups of 3. Another thing is the area code in Tokyo is 03. And also, for my mother, I'm her 3rd child as well.
A lot of meaning behind it.
3 is a big number for you, bro.
And
a whole
you always say
trinity,
things happen in 3s, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
always.
Well, you heard it from the man here himself. Things happen in 3s. So whatever you do in life, do it in 3. You want a girlfriend? You got 3 girlfriends.
3 times.
3 times. You know what I mean?
3 times the fun.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching another episode of the Hustle Podcast. Shout out Tokyo Sensei for coming, sitting down with us and everything. Much love.
Stay flexing,
That's
motherfuckers.
it. Stay flexing. That's it. Put
You
your
heard?
motherfucking
Talia out.
guns up.
You heard?
That's
Talia
it.
Baby
Talia,
Daddy, where are you?
Talia, say something before we go.
Baby Daddy, where are you?
Shout out to the Hustle.
Welcome everybody. Y'all ready for this? The Hustle. My name is Steve Aramopoulos, and these are my co-hosts.
I'm Talia. And I'm Tech Luciano. You may have heard me on radio, you may have never heard of me at all, but that's okay.
Y'all gon' learn today. Your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle. Take money, make money, build a future forever. Even in stormy weather, we execute for treasure. The grind is real, you know. Got the willpower, Terrence Howard, hustle and flow. Rain, sleep, or snow. The odds against me for sure. I kick down them doors when they close. A sharp shooter of motivation that leave bullet holes. We're in the zone, get focused, zone. Stay on your toes. Hustle, welcome to the show. If your whole life was a struggle, had to make it out the jungle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Turn nothing into something, cut the product, watch it bubble. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. See the vision with precision, put the pieces to the puzzle. This is a show for you. Welcome to the hustle. Under pressure, never break a fold. Keep chasing your goals until you blow. Now, welcome to the hustle.
Get well introduced to all 3 of us.